one of our streaming things is not working. Oh, it's just Facebook. That's fine. I didn't even mean to click that. So, media, live.
Cool.
Nope, that's the outro. Shit. Where's the intro? There it is.
Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ant.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ant.
All right, well, then I can just start it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Little less editing. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 80 of the Hollywood Persona. My name is Mitch, and as always, I am here with my friend Ant. How's it going, Ant?
Hey, Mitch. Great, man. I just got back from seeing the, IMAX re-release. Must be some kind of anniversary of the movie Seven, the David Fincher classic, as we would agree that it is one.
Yes.
So that was cool to see. That kind of came out of nowhere, and so I hadn't seen it.
It just
in many
popped
years.
up, and
yeah.
And your dad said he likes it too, or your mom's boyfriend, yeah.
He just saw it 2 days ago, and he went again.
Oh wow, that's
big fan. Yeah.
He said he was like, I'm gonna take this Make-A-Wish kid to the theater again, and like.
I was like, that's kind of brutal to watch it twice in a couple of days because, man, is it bleak.
It is very bleak, yeah, but I kind of like that about Fincher. He's
Me too.
He's got that bleak side. Happy New Year,
You
2025. Well, I guess we should have looked at what's coming out this year, but there's a lot. I'm sure we'll talk about it as we go along.
I was thinking about that, to you and to people listening, like we could maybe on our best and worst of or whatever we can do our most anticipated. Because I think we did last year, right? I remember talking about Dune 2.
Yeah, me too.
So we could.
I should listen back to that and see if we were excited for something that was just awful.
I was thinking of that too. And I think that would be a fun exercise for us to do now. And
yeah.
Look back this time next year and say, oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll go back and
turned out terribly or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Superman. Jesus, that's got more hype than I think. I don't know. But yeah, so the Golden Globes were last night, and I watched them up until a certain point, and then I kind of just half watched them in the background, did some stuff on the computer or whatever. But like, of course, I just forget it. Nikki Glaser, she was hilarious. She was great. I knew she would be funny. I don't know why haven't gotten her sooner. I don't think she's been a big enough name.
Agree. I think the roast of Tom Brady really skyrocketed her.
Agreed. And she was really funny. She was funny, and she actually, you can find, she was on a radio show this morning, and she said 10 jokes that she wanted to use, but she didn't.
Oh, I bet that's good.
And one of them was Glenn Powell. He's nominated tonight for Hitman. And isn't it crazy that Glenn Powell is the second sexiest Hitman this year? Obviously talking about Luigi. I know, and she didn't. I was like, that would have been, I don't know, I guess, yeah, anyways. So it was good, and I've seen a lot of people bitching about Amelia Perez taking home best comedy or musical. We're going to talk about it later, Amelia Perez. I should say we're also going to talk about the animated movie that won, Flow, and we're going to talk about Baby Girl, Nosferatu, and A Real Pain. Or is it I think it's The Real, is it? I don't know.
A Real Pain, yeah.
Yeah, A Real Pain. That was also nominated as well. And won something.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, Kieran won Best Supporting, which, we'll talk about that, I guess, when we get to it.
Yep.
So yeah, Amelia Perez took a lot more than I thought it was. Like Zoe Saldana won, Amelia Perez won for Best Musical or Comedy. And then we got Demi Moore. She won for The Substance, which I think we're both happy about.
So happy to see. Great speech as well.
Yeah, and she had I don't know if you got to see her up there with Margaret Qualley,
I
like the two of
did.
them. Yeah,
Yep.
and they were pretending to be their characters and like, why are you here? So yeah, and then Amelia Perez won for song and stuff. I think Flow was a big surprise for a lot of people, but we're going to talk about that animated movie in a minute. And then director, best actor, and drama motion picture all went to The Brutalist, which neither of us have had a chance to see. You haven't seen it, right?
No.
No,
Nope.
so neither of us have had a chance to see that. So yeah, and then of course they have the whole TV side, but I haven't seen The Penguin yet. I haven't even started the Dune Prophecy yet.
Me
So
too. I haven't.
yeah,
Yep.
Shogun took a home a lot. Did you watch Shogun?
I didn't, but I did
No.
see the guy accepting one of the awards for it, and I thought, man, he was a little monotone and slow for his acceptance speech. I forgot his name. He's a famous actor.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hiroyuki
Yeah.
Sanada. He's great. Wasn't he in Inception or was that no?
Yeah.
That's Ken Watanabe. I'm sorry,
No,
but
but he's
he
been
was
in
in another
something
of
we've seen
Nolan's.
recently.
But he's
Yeah.
great. He is so good. I love him. He's great in whatever he shows up in, and I'm glad he's getting some recognition. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much. I don't have anything else to say. I think Nikki Glaser did a great job, and they could probably keep her for a few years. I mean, the Golden Globes are like the poor man's Oscars, and
Right.
they're fun, but whatever. Anyways, Rustomeyer says Flow is so good, my number 2 of the year. Yeah, so I
Sweet.
we'll be talking about that shortly, and I gotta say, oh yeah, and Forrest, who is commenting, was down just last week, and we watched Flow. We watched Flow together, and we both liked it. And then I made him watch all the Alien movies, or half of them, because it was like he was there for New Year's, and then on New Year's Day I was like pretty hungover, so I'm like Prometheus, Alien, Aliens. So he's seen a few of them now. So, anyways, you got a little bit of box office to talk about.
Yeah, just a couple of things to mention for box office. Both Moana and Wicked are still doing amazing. Of course, they are both almost neck and neck for domestic total 450, 425 million. Just domestic again. So they're just continuing to do well. Moana, especially, is a surprise a little bit to me because of what it was. It was originally a show that got cut down to be a movie.
And that's the
And
only reason I want to talk about it later is
yeah,
because we've had this conversation, and I kind of want to let you know because I don't think you're ever going to see it.
I doubt it. And
Yeah.
I love that original. I've seen it several times, and I do like that one.
Yes, I
Yeah,
took
the first one.
Forrest.
Like, it's a good movie, great
Yeah,
songs.
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that later. Sorry, keep going.
All right, and then this was just an interesting thing that I've never seen happen in all the box office coverage I've watched over the last whatever years.
Yeah.
Baby Girl made almost exactly the same amount of money 2 weekends in a row. So, yeah, the difference was $2,354.
Wow.
So
And it
it
made
was
more its second week.
yeah. So it was a 0.5% increase. We usually talk about, oh, this movie had a 70% drop, a 60%, and this increased
Yeah.
by 0.5%. Just funny.
Yeah.
Because that just never happens.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
I think it's because word of mouth has taken a little while to spread. It's aimed at an older audience, and
Is it though?
somewhat older. I would say,
Okay.
aimed at older women audiences. So
Like
they
around
tend,
our age, maybe, or
yeah,
older.
and
Okay.
older. I've seen a lot of older people come in for that.
Is it
People,
not?
people who I wouldn't think would see it. I'm like, you sure?
That's
You know what you're going to see? Like, I'm making them a drink, and I'm like, oh, it's a spicy movie.
yeah. All I've heard is that Nicole Kidman gets fingered by a young man, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I need to see that. I really like Nicole Kidman as an actress, so
She
but
she
whatever.
so well, I'll talk about it in a
Yeah.
minute when we get
Yeah.
to it.
We keep talking about movies we're going to talk about shortly.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
that's all for box office there. We're now into the doldrums where things will slow down, or last year's movies will just continue to
yeah,
take
Wicked, and
number one. Yeah, Wicked,
they're just gonna, yeah.
and
I
any other thing.
mean,
Yeah, any other nominated movies.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully they bring maybe some back. I don't know, but the Brutalist is, playing shy. I saw a meme. I think I sent it to you where it was like four people in the living room and they were all cheering. And I was like, oh, here's all four people who have been able to see the Brutalist yet
Yep, yep.
cheering that it won, because no one has really, no, like random
General
people.
public, yeah.
Yes, it's all like, people, but yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I'm shocked that Adrian Brody won. I honestly didn't think we'd ever see him nominated for something again. So
Same.
I gotta
It's
see this.
exciting.
I agree. So yeah, so is
So
that,
yeah,
sorry.
best box office. No, that's box office. So you want to jump into reviews?
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to set up Perez?
Yeah, yeah. So let's
Okay.
talk about Amelia Perez. Also, other people call it Perez. The
Okay.
accent is over the first E on the globes. People
Yes,
said it
Amelia
both
Perez.
ways. So, okay, this movie is, before I tell what it's about, I think this is interesting. It's a French director. It was filmed in Germany, but it's about a
Oh,
Mexican cartel leader um, who goes through, I don't know, a change, or is trying to escape their enemies in a different way. I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't want to spoil anything.
right.
But we'll get more into it in a second. So so French, German, Mexican cartel member. It's also a musical. So it's like when I first heard those four components, I'm like, what is this movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
It has Zoe Saldana, Selena Gomez, and I don't know how to say her name, Carla Sofia Gascon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know how to say her name either, but she's very good.
So those are the main cast there, most of the ensemble.
Hmm.
Did I miss anyone? Was there anyone else that you?
Not
Okay,
there's the guy that Selena Gomez was with at one point. Like, I don't know his name, but no one I really
yeah,
recognize. No, no,
and
like, yeah.
yeah, I know there's like another face or two that I know but can't spot their name. So, um, it's let's do it like this. So I'll just go by what's in the log line. So Rita is an underrated lawyer working for a large law firm in Mexico. And she's more interested in getting criminals out of jail than bringing them to justice. She gets hired by the leader of a Mexican cartel.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to have to spoil some of this to talk about it. What do you think?
Like, I just want to tell people, like, I don't think we're gonna spoil it. All I think we should say is that Zoe Saldana's character meets up with this leader of the cartel, and he at the time wants to transition,
Yeah.
and that's what the whole story is about. So I think,
Facilitating that transition and seeing it
yes,
through.
I knew there was a trans storyline going into it. And as soon as this character came onto the screen, I knew it was them, obviously, because they were kicking off the story.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, so
I
any
didn't know what it was about going in.
okay,
And I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" The music starts. I'm like, "Okay." And my first line in my review is, "Hey Joker 2, this is how you make a musical," because this is just it's actual songs that propel the story forward. They're
yeah,
not all okay. So like to the review, they're not all amazing, but there's some of them were good. I liked a few of the early on songs,
hmm,
and I like this movie, and I give it a lot of credit for taking such a risk like this. Like I said,
yeah,
the
yeah,
pedigree, who made it, what it's about, where it was made, having it be a musical again. It's a cool idea, and I think it's a cool idea because this man, transitioning, it's pretty smart. Like, think if you're a cartel leader and cartel leaders, you either get killed or get sent to jail, right? Like, there's not really
hmm,
a clean way to get out of that job.
yeah,
And when that's presented to Zoe Saldana, I was like, that's pretty clever. Like, I wonder if anyone's thought to do this.
yes,
Now, that's not the only reason that
No.
this person, and it's actually, that's kind of the second reason this person truly is a trans individual.
Yeah. And
Um,
played by a trans woman.
yeah,
The makeup they did a lot of makeup throughout the movie. It's great. They did a really good job. Because I was looking to see, and that was the same actor. And I was looking, I'm like,
agree.
wow,
When we
wow.
first meet the actor when he's still a man, he looks scary as hell. He's
Yeah,
tatted and
yeah,
intimidating, and got guns around him, and
yeah. And that
you can
voice.
the voice, and he means business. Like, this is not someone you fuck with.
No,
Um, and then when we get to the transformation, it's like, I'm like, I wonder if that's the same person. Maybe they got another actor to do it. Turns
right.
out it is the same person. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow. So I really enjoyed the movie, like, overall.
yeah.
I think it was filmed well. I think having Zoe Saldana be the main character was a good choice. What do you think of that? Do you think the what's her name in the movie? Oh yeah,
That.
Amelia. Amelia.
What's her name?
Should
Amelia Perez.
should she
Um,
have been the main character? I think it was a good choice to make.
I
Uh,
think it. I think it was, but then it does get to a point where I guess it's like, how did they had to make her kind of come back into the story and everything? But it's a very broad movie. It's like overarching a span of
yes.
time. Um, this guy directed the Sisters Brothers that you saw.
Oh yes. I meant to.
That was his first English language. You didn't really like that.
No, I did like the Sisters,
Okay,
but I did.
okay.
Yeah, it's
I
clever.
just I hadn't looked into him, and I think there's obviously some people saying, he's not Mexican, he's not trans. Why should he be telling this
I've
story?
heard this.
And I get it, but it's like, I don't know. I like, he hired a trans actor. I'm sure I have seen a lot of my friends on Letterboxd are 1 star, half star, two
Yeah.
stars, and that really shocked me after I watched it, and because this was I found I'm sorry I'm kind of dovetailing off of the question you asked. What was the question you asked me?
About the choice to make Zoe
Yeah,
Saldana the main character, because we
so
didn't get transported to see everything through her eyes.
yeah, exactly, and it was kind of like, I think it was smart because of where the story goes and
Yep.
everything with Selena Gomez and everything, right? And it's almost like Sicario, where Emily Blunt's the main character, and these
Yes.
things are kind of happening around her, and like, it could have been I can't remember, Javier Bardem's. I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
It could
Right.
have been their story or something, but it wasn't. So, this guy directed Rust and Bone. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah. I saw
movie.
that. I haven't seen
Anyways.
that. Jackie Audiard.
Jacques,
Jacques.
Jacques,
Jacques. That's right.
Jacques Audiard. He is French. So, but
So yeah,
yeah,
I have heard the I've heard there is a contingent of whatever community that isn't happy with the portrayal, doesn't think it's respectful, and from my perspective, I didn't see anything that's not respectful. I think it's done
right.
with care, and I think anyone can tell any story. I don't, we talk. This comes up a lot, like, oh,
It does now.
right, like, oh, you got to hire a gay actor to play a gay part. It's like I can see the idea behind it, and they mean well, but acting is acting, and everyone should play everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want someone who is a bigot to play a gay character, but
Sure.
like, we just had Daniel Craig play a gay character in Queer, and he is straight. So, and I think cancel culture hit us hard, and then now people are kind of like, well, we're not that upset over all these things,
Yeah. And then
but
partially, I think maybe this backlash or some of it could get the ball rolling because people want other movies to win awards. When award time comes, there's always smear campaigns. Everyone tries to find something to tear down this movie or cancel this movie, right?
I agree.
And
And
so it's hard to like sift through this stuff to see, is it all concern, or is it like, oh no, I really want Wicked to do better, so let's take this, take down Amelia Perez or
so
Perez.
Mike is my friend. He just commented, and So he thinks Joker 2 is better than Emilia, right? Because the alligator eats. I forget how to do the great signs.
No, he's saying Wicked's better than Amelia, Amelia better than Joker 2.
Okay, good. Okay, and I, you know what? I agree with that. But I don't think Amelia Perez is a bad movie. I guess I'll just say, like, I enjoyed it. I'm about 3.5 stars, I think. Um, and you hit it. You hit it on the head when you texted me last night, and you said it's clever. And I think it was incredibly clever. And I think at some point this kind of uh, this kind of story was going to happen in some way. And to me, I could get past it, and I enjoyed, like, the second half of the movie, um, to see such a strong female trans character commanding the screen and everything. I don't know, it just, I mean, does it go into Mrs. Doubtfire territory? Kind of, a little bit. I mean,
But yeah, you're right. No, but you just made me think of something. She's not shy. She's not unsure. She's not
no,
like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Is this the right? Like, no,
I
she is in
loved
full
her.
control. And I like that this takes place totally outside the United States. So it has nothing to do with US or Canadian politics. Like, it's all other countries. So, like, so the like US sentiments don't really matter because she goes to another country in Europe to get some stuff done. Um, and, it's not just this character puts a dress on and makeup. Like, they go through real steps, and we see those steps and hiring of good people to do it. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah,
and then I think also just the filmmaking part, the dance numbers and stuff are cool, and they're colorful, and the camera
yeah,
moves. Like, again, to trash Joker 2, that was just like the camera looking at Joaquin Phoenix and what's her name, and they sing to each other. This, everyone else in the room is taking part. They all have their songs. They all chime in with the harmony.
yeah. Some of
So
the songs
yeah,
are dead awful.
yeah. You
And
thought so?
and I did. There was a couple I liked. Obviously, her in the gala, Zoe
Yes.
Saldana's, and then I liked hers with the doctor. It kind of hit me emotionally. She's talking to this doctor who doesn't want to do a surgery like that, and
Yep.
um, so there was, like, a few songs. I don't think, but to me, it felt like a little bit like similar to the singing in Les Miserables, where that singing was obviously a lot better, but it was almost like they're like a musical, like, where they're talking, and it's like, but they're singing. It was almost like they didn't need it to be a musical.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
it's
They definitely didn't need it, and I agree that some of the songs aren't great. I'm actually am a fan, I would say, of Selena Gomez, and I don't think her song was very good or she sounded that good. The one where she's singing alone in the bedroom,
yes,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't.
I wrote down that it's like, um, hiring Lady Gaga to in Joker 2 to just fucking do nothing and barely sing, right?
Yeah,
And that's kind of what they did with Selena Gomez. She kind of got one moment, but she did show off her acting chops, which I didn't really know she was, that decent
yeah, I
of an
agree.
actor.
I agree.
Um,
I think her acting was fine. And maybe it's just I just didn't like the song,
yeah,
not necessarily her being a bad
I
singer, because
agree.
obviously she's not a bad singer. There's plenty of
Yeah,
songs we all know that she sings well. So yeah, it's a very mixed bag. Like, I gotta give it points for the creativity. It's so
yeah,
different. There's no other movie I know that's like this.
no,
And for them
and
to take this kind of risk, imagine pulling up to the boardroom and say, "Here's what we're gonna do." Like, what studio
yeah,
would green light this?
yeah, and I don't know. There's some backlash on this movie, and I'm thinking that we will not see it as heavily promoted at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm so curious to see
yeah,
how it's going to do, because you're right. Like, it seems very split. This isn't universally loved, like, say, Anora.
Right, exactly. And Honora went home with nothing, right? And the only thing Wicked went home with was, the cinematic achievement, which is almost like, here
The
you go.
popularity contest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, the sorry, I don't know, but Amelia Perez herself, I have trouble saying her name, but the actress, she looks like Sofia Vergara mixed with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I couldn't
Nailed it.
I
Nailed
couldn't
it.
nail it until like the end, and I'm like, oh my god, I got it.
Sofia Vergara for sure. For
but
sure.
but this movie is it's a bit messy and all over the place, and I can honestly tell you that I can understand why people don't like it, but
Me too.
it worked for me. And this overall, the story is what worked for me, and I'm very story based, and I love good acting, and I think this movie had both of those, and it had a good story and great acting, and I think the story was just very interesting. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
I
into it.
agree. I
It's
agree.
hard to
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, it just works for me. It's fine, but I could see why people wouldn't like it. It was kind of long. I think it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
didn't notice.
And
I
I
was
was
so
getting
into it.
toward the end. I was like, all right, okay, I'm getting antsy. But other than that, it's like it's cool. It's different. They like
Yeah.
people put effort in that made it. And yeah, to me, it's also a 3.5 star movie. I probably,
Yeah.
will I watch it again really soon? No, but if someone came and was like, "Oh, I really wanted to check that out," I'd be like, "Yeah, let's watch it."
Yeah, let's and I could see so I actually posted in my group with my film friends and stuff on Facebook, and I said, if you liked Annette, you are not allowed to hate this movie.
Oh, good call,
Because I
dude.
fucking hated Annette,
Good
and
call.
people have been bashing me for hating that movie, and for years, and now it's like it seems like this is getting kind of the similar. Either you hate it or you love it.
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah.
So
I thought about that movie recently, and I
I'm
can't
sorry.
remember why, but I was like, "Wow, what a weird movie."
What a fucking weird movie.
Annette, yeah, that's the
If
musical
I
Annette.
could get a cheap doll of that baby, I would buy it for you and send it to you. And then you would, I'd be like, every episode, I'd be like, hey, show me the doll so I know you
Yeah,
haven't thrown it in the fire yet.
that would be a set decoration that you could have that no
Yes.
one would know what that's from, but the people that do would freak and say, "Is
They would
that
laugh.
what?"
Is that from
Yeah,
the fucking.
Adam Driver. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, right?
Yes.
I love
Yep.
her. Anyways, so yeah, Mike was saying he said the badness of the movie was what was disrespectful to the
I see. I see.
LGBTQ
Okay.
community.
Yeah.
And you know what? I completely get where you're coming from, Mike. Mike's awesome. So
Yeah.
he's
Like
not
I'm
tearing
not
us
gonna
down.
argue anyone that doesn't like it. Like
Me neither.
fine. Like
Isn't it
I
weird
get
when
it.
those movies come along though,
It
where you're just
is.
like, I get it. I get why you hate it, but I liked
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us, I need to hear a little bit about Baby Girl,
Yeah, and I
because
actually have a funny story that
okay,
happened at
I'm
the
excited.
theater that I work at. So, all right, so Baby Girl, I'm not going to do a full review. So, but it's the Nicole Kidman, spicy, sexy. It's kind of like a reverse 50 Shades in that
Yeah,
she
okay.
is the stronger aggressor. She's the
Oh,
dom, and he's the sub.
okay.
She's older, much older. He's much younger. He's in a lower position of power at the company that they're at.
I
So
have
that's
seen
why
that
it's pretty
trailer.
inappropriate.
Right.
But so what's funny about our funny story is someone came out to the lobby and was like, mad. This mom comes out, hey, I don't know what movie you guys are showing, but this is really inappropriate. Blah blah blah. They had came to see a complete unknown, but Baby Girl played, and
Wait. It was an accident
it
that
was an
Baby Girl
accident.
played, or they went to the wrong theater?
It was an accident. We did it. AMC was wrong. And it was a woman and her like 14-year-old daughter. And the opening scene is a pretty explicit sex scene. And then Nicole Kidman goes into the other room and watches pornography and masturbates. So it's like that's the opening scene. And so this woman was pissed. And I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to deal with that. So she's like yelling at the manager. Thank God that A Complete Unknown is also rated R. So they're both like rated R movies.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was mad. She got refunds and free passes and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
her
yeah.
daughter was probably like mortified, you know.
I mean, at that
Yeah.
age, you kind of, but I mean, you don't need to see it, especially Nicole Kidman. Like,
With
I
your
don't,
mom, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, with your
So
mom.
yeah, so the
Mommy?
movie, I here's all I want to say about the movie, and then you can ask me what you want, and then we can move on. I'm glad a movie like this has this level of production value, is in a theater. You know, we don't really get erotic thrillers anymore in theaters that often. And Nicole Kidman elevates this stuff. You know, this would be like kind of trashy if it wasn't a like amazing actress like her. She really gives it her all. And I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, good for her. It's cool. She's still doing different and weird roles like this way into her career, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's like a, you know, trashy, sexy, like it's a fine date movie. Um, as far as the level of explicitness, nothing more than, what was Jacob Elordi movie that everyone,
oh, Saltburn. Yeah,
yeah,
Saltburn.
nothing
Yeah,
crazier than what we saw in Saltburn or
right.
Eyes Wide Shut. Speaking of Nicole Kidman, like it's, you know, just
Yeah,
people.
which
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut is streaming now on either Prime or Netflix. It literally New Year's Day it started streaming, and it's been
Perfect.
like so unstreamable. So if anybody wants to watch that, you can stream that now. Um,
Yeah. So yeah, it's decent. I think I gave it 3 stars. You know, if and when you eventually see it, then we can maybe do a full review. But
yeah.
yeah, it's a erotic thriller in a way.
So it is a thriller, like it's
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah, there's some tension because the opening scene I just talked about, she's married and seemingly happy.
Mm. So it's like,
And
why is she doing this?
yeah, she has a good family. Like they're at the breakfast table and everything's perfect and the white picket fence and she like is ready to throw it all away.
I don't know if I need to see Nicole Kidman. Like she's one of my favorite actors, and I don't know if I need to see her. She's having sex,
You
right? You
know,
know,
I would say you don't have to. Like if you like her, see her movie she did called Destroyer, where she was like
right?
a,
You've been
a
telling me about
really
that.
grizzled detective. That was a stretch as far as like her acting, and I
Hmm.
mean in a positive way. Like she stretched her or flexed her muscles to really take on this part. This
Yeah,
is like we've seen it. This yeah. Again, this would be like a lifetime-ish movie if we didn't have this amazing actress elevate it.
yeah.
But
Well,
you know, if that sounds any tiny bit interesting, put it on when it comes to streaming. I wouldn't say go to the theater. You know.
okay. I mean, so like this year we also had which I don't think you saw, the idea of you or an idea of you, and it's Anne Hathaway getting with a younger
Oh,
man.
this is very similar. I did not see that, but I did read about that movie, and from what I remember, that plot being very similar here.
This is like the
But
rated
see,
R version.
that didn't go to theaters,
No, it went right to Prime, I think.
and that's why
And
I
I
like give a point to this one for actually releasing in theaters.
Yeah. And I like the idea of you with Anne Hathaway. I think, like honestly, if you're looking for something to watch, it's fun. But how are we all just to go down that road? How are we all okay with this? With older women getting with younger men. Obviously, the men are usually not underage. But if it was but
I'm with you.
in my
I
head though, it's like it's almost like when people say why does every movie have to have a gay character? Well, it's because for 100 years there's been no gay characters in movies, or they've been represented. So now, and it's like
I get
we
yep.
have
I
had
get
a
what you're
lot of
saying.
older man, younger woman movies, and if you want those, you can go find them. They can be a little creepy sometimes.
My way of
So
fixing this conundrum is I don't have a problem with the either of them.
yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I
if
mean?
it's
Like I
like as
just
long as they're consenting
yeah, right.
adults.
Like Miller's Girl, that was a Jenna
Yeah,
Ortega movie that
it
just had
was.
the same thing.
It
I think that was
was.
this year.
That was last year. I
Oh
would.
yeah, maybe so.
And then
But yeah, so I don't have a problem with it.
good.
I think it's worth checking out.
Did you see Good Luck to You, Leo Grand? with
No, but
Emma
that sounds so
Thompson.
familiar.
And
No, I didn't see it.
she's an older woman. That's a really good one. I think I really enjoyed that because Emma Thompson, like, she should have been nominated. She was incredible in that role, and
Oh yeah,
she bears all.
I
Like,
could see her being great.
she stands in the shower and, like, she's, I think, 60 something. So
Yeah, I've
um
heard of it. I need to see it. So yeah, that's Baby Girl. Check it out when it
okay,
comes to streaming.
were you uncomfortable at any time, or or was it like pretty normal, like not like
No, I wasn't uncomfortable.
okay,
No, not
okay,
like no. There's way worse. Short Bus I saw in the theater. That was pretty uncomfortable. Have you heard of that one?
short bus? No.
That's one of the one. That's like an infamous
Making
X-rated
fun of,
movie. Yeah.
is it making fun of mentally challenged people, or
No, no. It's about a
oh,
group
okay,
of kind of swingers in New York City. And the theater I saw it in was pretty full. Lots of like women, like girlfriends went out and had a drink, to have fun.
yeah,
And mostly nobody was like inappropriately snickering. Like
right.
there were a
I
couple of
just
those, but no, it wasn't that uncomfortable.
I apologize. It just short bus when I was younger. It was
Oh
a
no, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
okay. It was a
I know.
poor
Yeah.
term to yeah. Anyways, so
No,
what?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember why they call it that. I think just because they're like different misfits.
right. Okay.
But yeah, look that
Um,
one up. Look up Short
I
Bus.
I wrote it down on our docs because I'm just kind of like
Yeah,
um
it's
I
cool.
want
It's
to
weird and different.
so
So you want to talk
flow.
flow? Yeah.
Well, I want to talk flow. So Ant Flow is what you get, every month. But this movie is Flow, and it is about a cat. And I had no idea, no freaking clue what this movie was going to be about. So I put it on, and my friend Asher, like he watched it as well because I said I had to watch something. You got to stop annoying me for 2 seconds so I can watch a fucking movie, or else Ant will kill me. So Flo is about this cat, and at the beginning he's like running away from dogs, and something's up because there's no humans. There's not a single human to be found,
Yep.
and there's like giant statues or small statues of cats and animals, and it's so, and I don't know, I think there's a lot you can read into yourself there, so I'm not going to say what I thought or anything. um, but essentially this cat is going around. All of a sudden the water starts to rise, basically what climate change, like, the icebergs melted. All of a sudden the water is starting to rise and the world is flooding,
Yep.
and this cat happens to find a boat, and this boat is it is populated. It as it goes on, there are many different animals on board this boat,
Yeah.
and they are essentially trying to survive. There is no talking. It is completely animated, in very pretty animated animation, but a little like this is something, the animation you would kind of see in like the early 2000s, but like better.
And
Uh,
this was made with Pro Tools like on a MacBook Pro. So it's
was it
very,
okay?
yes, I saw that in the Wikipedia or wherever. So that's why it's simplistic-ish animation, you could say.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I loved it and it was beautiful, and like watching it on the TV, I was like, I would throw this on in the background just to have people kind of watch, because there's no talking anyways. Um,
Yeah, no dialogue.
no dialogue at all. But you get to kind of, it's probably better than Mufasa trying to read these animals'
Oh
faces,
yeah,
because you
definitely.
can, you're reading these animals' faces and the way they look at each other, and what they're dealing with and stuff. So there's like a cat, a capybara, a stork like eagle. And then there's a dog, and so yeah. So it's a really interesting like movie, and I like, gosh, it's like a 4.5 star movie for me. I just thought it was beautiful. Um, to me, it's like the animated version of Life of Pi.
Yeah, that's
It
a
has
good
a
comparison.
very similar themes, um, and like, trying to get along with maybe, like, other people you wouldn't. or
normally see eye to eye with, yeah.
exactly, and you know, having to like understand others even though you don't know them, and trusting strangers, and you know,
And their
not
customs are
listen.
weird and different than yours,
Right,
right?
exactly, and friendships. It's I don't know, it's pretty beautiful. It's rated G.
And it's like
um
85 minutes.
yeah, and like I think my kids would have really enjoyed it, actually, because it's not too long. um because like my heart was in my chest for a lot of it, like worried about,
Yeah.
like I said at the beginning, if anything happens to this capybara, i I will turn this movie off.
Yeah.
I was like, I was so in love with all the animals, and yeah, you go, you say, you
So
talk.
yeah, I uh, agree and go along with everything you just said. They, with no dialogue, because these animals don't speak English, as most animals don't. Um, you have to infer and draw a lot from the character design and their actions. And I think maybe there's like some meows or like barks or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's just, I really liked this too. I didn't rate it as highly as you though, because I felt maybe the story was just a little bit thin, um, from where we start to where we finish. But I think it's cool that it won the Golden Globe,
I think so
because
too.
it's really unique. I think it's promising for like younger or upcoming filmmakers to say, "Hey, look, someone made this and it won a Golden Globe, and they made it with their MacBook, um, with no dialogue in it." So, like, just for the effort they put in, I think it's really cool. And it was like just beautiful. I did see this in theaters, and the
Oh wow,
water
that
looks
was.
amazing. Um,
And there's that
yeah.
shot where the cat is on top of a statue, and like the sun, it goes around, and the sun is like
Yes.
hitting it at a certain angle. And I'm like, okay, J.J. Abrams, you're doing this great. Like,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of camera movement through
yeah,
through this
there,
animation,
there is.
and it looks awesome. And I think, I agree with you about, you could have this on in the background. This could be playing as a store demo. You know, um, it's just cool in a world of Moana 2's,
Yeah,
Mufasa's, that we
yeah.
get something off the wall and out of the ordinary like this. So
Like this, and
yeah,
like it's funny because we don't hear about. I can't believe you saw it in theaters. I had no idea, because, but
I
I
had
do
a
remember you.
small amount of time to see it.
I remember you telling me I needed to see it, so you must have seen it in theaters. But um, these animated movies sometimes just come along, you know, like Memoir of a Snail. I had no idea.
Or Hit Pig. That was when I worked for CinemaScore and one
Oh God,
person came to see it.
did they fill out the ballot?
They did. They did. I was like, you have to, or else I won't get paid. I need one ballot.
You can't just
So
fill it out
yeah, like
yourself.
these animated movies come and go, and um, this looks different. It's not that it's like way way better than what the water effects in Mufasa, because obviously the budget is a one
Yeah,
percent,
yeah,
but it was someone who cared, someone who tried something, and you can see that. And yeah, the movie's themes are pretty broad. Like,
yes.
yeah, climate change. The interesting thing is the water comes and goes, like it's like a tsunami almost,
Almost, yeah. And
right?
there's
Because
like,
it rises, and early in the movie, you see the boat they're going to be on up in the trees. I noticed it up in the top.
really?
Yes. And I remember
Oh,
thinking, oh, I wonder why that's there. Oh, okay. Then the water rises, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm connecting the dots. And yeah, there's
okay.
alliances between different animals to help each other,
Mm-hmm.
from safety, or like to safety. So yeah, and there's some tension. Things go wrong. Other animals come, where you're like, oh shit, are they going to get eaten?
What's gonna go on? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Did
it's cool.
Did you see Elemental?
Yeah,
So to me, this feels like a better, that kind of story told better, um,
definitely.
about how certain things can survive in certain environments, and or you know how
Fire
it's
and
like
ice normally wouldn't get
exact
along, right?
right, or you know the world is made better for certain people, and certain people, like, you know, cats don't like water, right? And
Yep.
this movie is this cat trying to adapt to this new life, and it's just, yeah, it's just super beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. And um, yeah, I mean, Yeah, I don't know what was. I
Yeah,
would
it's
like
really
to get into
cool, and
spoilers with you,
it's
but
Latvia. It's made by a Latvian filmmaker, by the way.
yeah, because its original title is Straume, Straume. But I don't know. Maybe one day, or if we have time at the end of this episode, you and I could talk spoilers on this
Sure.
because I have like two questions and some things I wrote down that I'm not sure. But we have a lot of people watching live, so I don't want to do that to them.
Yeah.
Make them have to like get off, and they better not be getting off. All right, so that was Flow. Tell me, I'm sorry, everyone. I have yet to see Nosferatu, but um, I've seen the 1999 or 96 version.
Yeah. So we'll do a full review on Nosferatu
Yes.
once you see it. But I just want to mention that I saw it, that I loved it. I would recommend it, and yeah, it's been doing extremely well at the box office. This director has finally hit $100 million domestic or
Nice.
worldwide,
Nice.
and that's the first time. The Witch didn't do that. The Lighthouse didn't do that. Even The Green Knight didn't. Or not The Green Knight. The Northman.
Northman, yeah.
Yeah,
I could see why the Lighthouse didn't, but the
yeah,
Northman
right.
should have.
Northman should have.
That
Northman
needed
definitely
better
should have.
marketing or something, but
Yep.
yeah.
Different release date or something. So, yeah, we'll do a full review on Nosferatu, but I just will say that if you like his movies at all, or if you like the themes of this go see it. It's great. It looks amazing on screen. The acting's cool.
The memes I've seen are crazy.
Yeah, it's very meme worthy, this movie.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. And we'll do a full review once you see it, because I want to talk in depth once you've seen it.
Okay. 2-second pause. Just hold on. 2-second pause.
Sure.
Talk about Nosferatu more.
I can say that Lily Rose Depp was surprising. She's been in a lot of terrible movies and TV shows. The Idol, I didn't see that, but she was surprising.
Is Willem Dafoe good? Like, I mean, Eggers has him in all his movies now, right?
He's great, and he's funny in this too.
Yeah.
He's like psycho weirdo Dafoe mode, and it's hilarious. There's like good laughs that are intentional in it.
Yes. And for everyone watching live, thank you for tuning in. Also, we were supposed to record at 5, and I did get locked out of my apartment for a good hour and a bit. So that's embarrassing, but that's just going to be my excuse now, is like whenever I don't want to record. Sorry, locked out. So what'd you give Nosferatu? Sorry.
3.5.
Yeah.
Between 3.5 and 4. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's
okay.
good. It's good and worth seeing.
I feel like everyone's like, we really like it, but we're not going to nominate it or anything. And it's
right.
Like, do you think it should have been maybe somewhere?
I think in maybe craft categories it deserves it. Yeah, there's because the acting is good. I would say the acting is good, but not everyone is in the same movie. I think a lot of people have a problem with Aaron Taylor Johnson's role. They say like doesn't feel like he's a part of the same movie that the other people are. So that sticks out a little bit to me. But the craft category, I thought it was for sure.
I thought it was Nicholas Hoult. I didn't know
Nicholas Holt's the main husband.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Aaron Taylor Johnson.
You're right. Didn't know he was in it.
He's like the neighbor or the family, the friend.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because last year I read 2023 I read Dracula, and I really loved the book. It's very long, and then I looked into the whole, and then I watched Nosferatu, and I looked into the whole like controversy because
oh yeah,
like Dracula, the Dracula creators were pissed because they essentially just stole. Nosferatu is essentially the story of Dracula. They're one and the same.
Yep.
So
just name change, yeah.
Exactly, but I there are differences obviously, and I'm sure there's way more in this one. So
yeah, and that's why I want to wait, because I know you know this stuff in more detail because you've watched the other movies. So yeah, once you see it, then we can really like give it a proper review.
Yeah. So A Real Pain is a movie we're going to talk about right now. It stars Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, who is on that TV show.
Oh, Severance.
Severance, yes. Yeah,
Right.
Severance. The one with
Adam Scott.
no, not
Oh
Severance.
no.
The
Murders in the Building. No.
no, the sub
Oh, Succession.
Succession. Thank you. So this is
And written and directed by Jesse
exactly.
Eisenberg.
So written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. This one went to it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival last January, a year ago, and so it is about this Jesse Eisenberg's character and his cousin, played by Kieran Culkin, and they are Jewish, and their grandmother died recently, so they want to go back over to
Poland.
Germany. Yeah, it is Germany, right?
Maybe
Or
I thought it was Poland. Poland, yeah.
Okay, Poland. I apologize. Yeah, it is Poland. So they go to Poland for a Holocaust tour group because their grandmother survived the Holocaust through 1,000 Little Miracles, and they want to feel more connected with her. They love their grandma.
Yeah, learn their history.
Exactly. So they're a part of this tour group. I didn't really recognize any of the actors except for the still beautiful Jennifer Grey.
I was going to say Jennifer Grey, yep.
Yeah, who you guys would know for Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep.
And she is still beautiful as all get out. And it's funny, like, so, and then the movie is about these two very different people.
Right.
So we have Jesse Eisenberg's character, and he is we've seen the straight man, very tight, doesn't
family man,
scared to do anything, doesn't want to like upset anyone, doesn't want to push the boundaries with anything. And then we've got his cousin who has some severe mental health issues, and he is like just living his life to the fullest, like really wouldn't care if he got caught and put to jail, like smoking weed, and it's not legal in Poland or something, so they're hiding it. And then the one thing is he's very like boisterous and loud.
He says whatever comes to his mind without stopping for half a second to think about it.
Exactly. For example, I'm just going to give one example.
Sure.
He doesn't like the way the one part of the tour guide, he doesn't like the way he is handling the tour, and he tells him. And it's a very awkward moment. There's a lot of awkward moments in this, like the dinner scene, and it's really interesting. And like, I have crazy mental health issues, and I connected with both of these characters. I felt like I have like bipolar, so I felt like I am sometimes the Jesse Eisenberg character and I am sometimes the Kieran Culkin character, because like they were saying how like Jennifer Grey's character like is like, oh, like he lights up a room and stuff, and it's like I can be like that, but I can also be the other guy. Like, it's like no, we shouldn't do that. We'll get in trouble. Or it's like I show up at a party and I'm having the greatest time of my life. It's just.
And I think that's this movie's genius, is the characters are very well written so that both of them can be relatable. Because, you can have the moments where you're like, oh, I don't want to push the envelope. Oh, I don't want to upset someone by saying something. But then you'll go home and think, damn, I should have said that. I should have said that. And Kieran Culkin's character here will just say it, and he owns it. And that's why this really, really works. Like, it's a really sweet and good feeling two-hander. Mm-hmm. They mesh so well as if they're friends in real life, right?
I like, the only thing I'm going to say is I don't like. I feel like he wrote it where Kieran Culkin's character got more of the happy ending than Jesse Eisenberg did. I felt like at the end I was like, I don't know. I feel like he didn't have a good enough arc. He was still the same person from beginning to end. And I think the only, maybe he understood his cousin a little bit more by the end, but I think he was still just.
True. He doesn't really have that much of an arc. You're right.
But the movie is still pretty good for is really good for Kieran's arc, because
Yeah.
that is really interesting. And you know what? If I got to be honest, maybe he doesn't have an arc either, because he doesn't change.
I guess not, right?
This is a really interesting movie.
Yeah, and I want to say it was pretty familiar. I was trying to find the movie to compare it to, and I actually saw two movies this year I would almost compare it to. One was called Between the Temples. Do you remember me
I remember
mentioning
you
that
talking
one?
about that with Carol
Didn't like
Kane.
that one. But the other one is called Touch. Do you remember that? That is the story of a dad and a daughter going over to Germany or Poland to go through the Holocaust. Like it's almost beat for beat.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's Russia, or maybe it's like a different. It's not maybe they're not Jewish, but anyway, like we've seen a story like this before, where two different characters go on an adventure and maybe learn something about each other. But this one, I don't know. It's just written well. Like I think the major credit goes to the writing and the dialogue, and maybe that's because the performance that Kieran Culkin gives, or maybe he's reading the dialogue word for word that Eisenberg wrote. But yeah, like this could have been like just okay, but I think it's pretty good. Like it's got relatable people in it.
I think it is pretty good, and obviously Kieran Culkin's acting, I think, elevates it. And Eisenberg is, he's doing Eisenberg, but that's okay, because he's actually kind of doing a toned down Eisenberg almost.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy to say.
Lex Luthor here, right?
No. And
it's kind of like what we liked about Eisenberg from The Social Network, where
yes,
he's reserved and quiet,
good straight man.
Yeah, constrained and a little shy compared to, say, Lex Luthor, where he's just an obnoxious.
Yes, and they never Kieran. Their characters are just so well written, and they are very true to the writing, and it is the Kieran Culkin. They never shy away from the most awkward moment. They are very happy to make him unlikable. They're happy to make both of these characters unlikable. Yep. And at first I was like, am I supposed to like these characters or not? And then you do, and then you don't, and you like this one. You think this one should lighten up. It's a really good watch. It's not too long, 90 minutes, and it's good. I think Jesse Eisenberg has maybe a career in writing and directing.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think I want to hit on one point before we can wrap up that you just said that I agree with. Kieran Culkin never does something where you think, oh, his character, the way it's written, wouldn't do that. Like, no.
Right.
It's very like, oh, yeah, I can see him doing that based on what we know about him. And same with Eisenberg's character. I'm like, yeah I could see him being, oh, no, what if we get caught smoking weed up, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And
Kieran Culkin gets an amazing monologue at dinner.
He's a little drunk.
Great scene. Yep.
It made me think of top 5 dinner scenes, like with the Film Vault or something, right?
Yep.
And this reminds me of a movie that I thought of, and it's the one where these two guys, they're biking up a hill at the beginning of the movie, and Anderson really liked it, and they're brothers. And he says at the beginning of the movie,
"Oh yeah.
Oh, by the way, I slept with your wife, that your soon-to-be wife."
Yes.
And then he just bikes off. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. I saw it, and I can't remember the name of it.
I know. It was like a little movie, and I don't think I would. If anyone knows what I'm talking about,
Tanner was the actor's name. Tanner something.
I don't know.
We'll think of it.
Yeah, at some point I will figure it out.
Yeah. Yep.
So
similar kind of story.
So
we've seen movies like this. Sorry, go
exactly. Ahead. No, it's a two-hander. It's two people, and they don't get along, and then they kind of do. I mean, it reminds me of that one with, again, here I go, Palomina or with
Palomina with.
Palomina with. I think it's Maggie Smith or Judi Dench, and anyways, whatever. I
What'd you
saw
rate it?
oh A Real Pain.
Yeah,
Like, I think I'm 3.5
I am too. It's better
because
than just three. It's like it's good. It's good. It's
yeah,
good.
I mean, should it win an Oscar? I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
We'll
it's
see.
not. Yeah, like I think this movie is this year is last year was stacked. So no, I don't know if this one really deserves the Oscar, but it's good and I'll never forget it. And I think Eisenberg did a good job, and I'm excited to see what he does next.
Same,
So
same. 3.5.
yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, I was just gonna say I saw Moana 2 and Sonic 3. I saw Moana 2 with Asher, and I saw Sonic 3 with my boys. We have seen every Sonic movie together. The first one came out during COVID, so we didn't see it in theaters, but the other two we did. We have like a Sonic and a Tails and the stuffed animals and all that. They were obsessed with it. So Sonic 3, I'll just say is I don't think anyone would dislike this movie. It's a solid 3-star movie. I think it's better than the other two by a mile.
Oh,
Like it
good.
could almost be 3.5. Jim Carrey is playing himself and his grandfather.
I saw
Um,
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and it's funny at times, and it's a little silly and slapsticky at other times. But you know what? Like people were laughing throughout, and the kids were enjoying it so much. Um, and I don't think we realize how many Sonic the Hedgehog fans there are. Like,
It's
we've
done
seen,
crazy good business at my theater.
yeah, and not and like just from the years it goes like past and the games and everything. So I think this one really does a lot of fan service.
Was
Um,
Keanu fun in it?
yeah, I
I
mean,
watched the scene with him and I thought, he's kind of tamped back. He's serious.
yeah, he is serious. He's supposed to be serious. By the end, I kind of forgot it was him a bit, but at first I was like, "Oh my god, that's Keanu Reeves!" Like and like, I don't think he's a great actor at all, but I think he's Keanu, and like we all kind of just
Yep.
like him.
Yep. Okay.
Um,
I will see
yeah,
this eventually because I
will
do
you?
like the. Yeah, I like the first one.
Okay, because like yeah, Jim Carrey is good enough, and this movie does have some heart, and it has like it kind of like it has an interesting ending where I didn't think
I
it would go.
saw. I saw the. I have seen both post credit scenes. So.
Oh, so I'm
It,
not talking about the post credit scenes. I'm
oh.
talking just about the like the climax and where it went. I thought was like pretty interesting. But yeah, the post credit scenes kind of are like, they set up the next one and fans will be happy.
Right. I was gonna say
Um,
like we will be getting more for sure.
yeah, yeah. With the way the money's going, yeah, and I mean, they don't have big actors in these movies, like except for Jim Carrey, really. Like you got James Marsden is the biggest actor, and I mean Idris Elba does the voice of Knuckles, but really they can get anybody into a voice booth for
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
10 million or whatever, 5 million or whatever.
True.
And then Moana 2. My boys loved Moana, the first one, so I was going to take them, but then their mom took them. So I took the other kid, Asher, and we both liked it. I didn't.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was, and I had you in my head the whole time
Oh
telling
no.
me about how this was apparently a planned TV show to go to Disney Plus, and it was because I looked it up after and stuff.
Yeah,
And
February they announced that they were doing it, and then we got it in December. So,
yeah, which is
but
I
good.
don't
I'm
know.
glad to hear.
It wasn't like great, but it wasn't like awful. There's this part in the middle where this like vampire like girl comes into it, and it felt very TV show ish. Like she's like got bats that fly around her. It kind of felt like I had all of a sudden started watching Hotel Transylvania, um, two or something.
Okay,
Which,
yeah.
but we get the Asher says 5 out of 5. I loved it, but we so this vampire girl was kind of annoying, but like I don't know. Maui was good, and Moana was good, and she's got this little sister who is cute as hell. And there's some emotional moments, like with the grandma and stuff, like being she's passed, and but you can tell at the beginning that this was supposed to be an episodic TV show.
Interesting. Okay.
And then as it goes on, like once they kind of pass that middle hurdle, I enjoyed it. And yeah, like it doesn't compare anywhere near to Moana. Like I think to me, this is a good 3-star movie, and I think families would enjoy it. Yeah, and there's like 4 new characters, which I thought would be annoying, but like I vibed with it, and I liked there was some good humor with it and stuff, and I liked the chicken, and I liked the stuff. And there's a lot of the same jokes though. There was a lot of this, like like boat snack. He grabs a chicken, and then and like silly jokes. I wasn't crying in the theater. So yeah. Anyway, so that's Moana 2. I think you could definitely do a lot worse for an animated movie. Should it be Oscar nominated? No, not with the movies we have this year, like Inside Out 2 and
and I think the live action one comes out this year, right?
Yeah, I think so. With The Rock is reprising his role, but the girl who does Moana's voice is not, which sucks, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That could be great. It might.
I couldn't care less to see it really, I think, but it'll be interesting. I think I will want to see it for the CGI of like Tomatoa and the ending scene, like the big crab guy. So okay, when the grandma showed up, I cried because they said this thing. She said this thing about like we're still together, but it's just different now. And my mother just died, so I was like, So you're trying to make fun of me over there, like Jesus.
You don't have to be ashamed of that.
I was what was it that I watched the other day that I almost cried in? I can't remember, but yeah.
Have you seen The Wild Robot? Because I would say we'll hold off on that one.
No, I saw it before my mother passed, and I still bawled from about the middle point to the very end. And it's because like I'm a father, and
it got me choked up. And I don't have kids. Like it's just done well. It's great.
But yeah, so wow,
so that's
we're just over an hour, and we kind of fit all that in there. And I know I've talked a lot of this episode. I literally looked up sex with brother's wife movies. I can't find that movie, but whatever.
I'll look for it after this too.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyways, movies coming this weekend, January 10th. We've got A Better Man, or just Better Man. That is the Robbie Williams movie where he is like a monkey chimp face or something.
Yeah.
Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. Right. Did you see the first one? Because I
did. I remember liking the first one, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to this.
Okay, well then maybe I'll watch it. Yeah. The Prosecutor, which is a Chinese movie. Like Hong Kong, Donnie Yen directed it.
Yeah.
So
I've heard
it might
of
be interesting. The Room Next Door, that's Almodovar.
Pedro.
Pedro Almodovar. Thank you, with Julianne Moore, Swinton, Totoro. Is that this year or last year? Sorry,
that's last year for awards this year.
So
I
essentially,
don't think it's gonna get any, but. Yeah,
I haven't heard of it until
I had seen a trailer for it.
Okay,
so you also have Hard Truths.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
and then The Last Showgirl, I think I mentioned right.
Yeah,
and then thought there was one more. Oh, Nickel Boys, I can finally see.
Okay,
this weekend
because here I have it saying on here that The Last Showgirl and Nickel Boys aren't until the 17th.
Okay, well, and for me, it's only at this one theater in Atlanta, so
right. I'll keep an eye.
Yeah.
And then the seed of the sacred fig is apparently coming out a little wider or limited or something this weekend as well. And that was nominated for best foreign language at the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you want to catch that, that's, something. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Ant, I like the crab. You got to stay shiny. We were, I love the Muppets, and I made Asher watch Muppets from Space.
Oh, I
And now
haven't
he's
seen that.
obsessed with Pepe the King Prawn
Oh, I thought the
from
prawn
the
was from
Muppets.
Moana.
No, I do love, but yeah, Shiny. That's a masterpiece song.
Great
But
song. Freaking
yeah,
love it.
yeah. Um, Actually, stay for the post-credit scene if you like Tomatoa. Is that his
Okay.
name?
Yeah, I
If you
think
see
that's right.
Moana 2, there's a post-credit scene that.
Yeah, when it streams, I'll play it while I'm working or doing something
Right.
like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anything else you wanted to say?
No, no. I mean, I've seen A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan. We can talk about that if and when you eventually get to it.
Yep.
I've seen a couple documentaries that are nominated. We will get to those when the nominations actually come out. So no, nothing else I want to say. But we got so many. Like, this is finally when the regular people like us get to see all the Oscar movies. So
Yeah.
we should crank out another episode next week or so.
Actually, I did want to ask you. First of all, I want to say if your mom is listening, thank you for the card. I just got
Oh,
it
nice.
today. But I have it right here because Canada had a postal strike, and luckily, like they stamped on it December 3rd. So I knew, and I think that's when the strike like basically started. So just
Wow.
thank her for me. We are just finally starting to get like our mail. I'm waiting on a couple packages that were supposed to be here for Christmas. It sucks.
Damn, yeah. I actually sent you a card the exact same day, so it's
Wow.
funny or coincidental that you got that one, but not mine.
Yeah, who knows? I might not even get yours. I don't know. It's just been weird. I hope I do, but thank you.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say.
Was it about movies or top tens or
Oh,
upcoming?
that's what I was going to talk about. Does it not feel like we have shifted so far from Dune 2 that it won't win anything?
It does
Which
feel like
sucks.
that, and it's a bummer, but that really does feel like it was a year ago. or
Yeah.
more. Like,
I know. It sucks because it's on a lot of people, like most people's top 10, like they loved it, blah blah blah.
maybe it'll get. I hope it'll get some technical effect.
I hope so. It should.
It deserves it.
And I'm in the boat where if The Brutalist doesn't win Best Picture, Wicked is winning it.
Wow, I don't know. I would say
Dude.
Nora is.
Dude, I think the Honora talk died.
Yeah, it was too early.
Quickly.
It was too early.
And then we got Amelia Perez, and it had that slow roll. True. And now that Amelia Perez won the Golden Globes, and then The Brutalist, and it's like I think Honora's going to get the back seat, and I think Dune 2 is, and as well as but I think Wicked is just
rising. Yeah,
I don't know.
And of course, everyone has actually seen it. So, okay, looking at Gold Derby, which is kind of like the bar. Brutalist is put up at the top, then Honora, then Conclave, then Amelia Perez, then Wicked.
Okay.
Let's see. Expert vote. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well. Oh, odds. Okay, odds. Yeah. So Brutalist is 7-1. Yeah. So right now Brutalist has most. They're racing
so Wicked's
over.
Are
we
saying,
got months.
We do.
We got 3 months, right? It doesn't happen until March.
Yeah, usually March.
Yeah, I wish
it won't be that long. It won't feel like that long.
I guess so. But
okay,
yeah, I'm curious.
Asher wants me to show you these things. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go. This was my Christmas present from Asher. I don't know if you've ever heard of perler beads.
Oh, cool. I have seen those.
Yeah, so it's like art. Like if you look at I put magnets on the back to hang them on my fridge, and then you like iron iron it. And then this is from a game we play called Genshin Impact. So he made this one for me, which is
cool.
This is my favorite character
that's
from the
pretty
game. I know.
Oh, that's nice. What a nice touch.
So there you go, Asher. I showed the things. He made one for Atticus and Max, and the one's like the little meme green frog, not Pepe, but
Oh yeah.
the one with the magic wizard's hat, and then the other one is Umbreon from Pokemon. So thank you for those. Thank you everybody for listening. We will try to be back very soon. I need to see Nosferatu like I need $1 million. So
yeah, let's do it next week.
Yeah.
Like let's try a week from today.
Yeah.
Have you see it? I know you want to see it, so.
Oh, apparently I just saw it's coming to my local theater, which is like
Good.
15 minutes, so I can go to that one and see it. So I will. So everyone, thank you for listening.
Thanks, y'all.
And Happy New Year. You're the best co-host.
Man. You too.
Let's hit the outro.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you for listening to the Hollywood Persona podcast.
I did.
You can find us on Instagram. Thank you for listening to the Hollywood Persona podcast. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at the Hollywood Persona. Feel free to email the show at thehollywoodpersona@gmail.com and make sure to rate, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening to our show on. It's the little things that help. Thank you.
And you little shithead.
You're staying here. Okay.
Sweet, man.
We'll hit the stop the live thing.